As you know, we have established exactly a year ago the Claim 5 strategy, and we are well ahead. So we had actually a strong Q1, even stronger Q2, and therefore we also have increased our guidance for 2022. Means on sales we will have an increase between 25 and 35% on top line, and something between 20 and 25 on bottom line. So we are very happy with this achievement and outlook for 2022. And if you ask me for 2023, that's a bit too early. I don't have the crystal ball to go into that yet. It was super exciting, I have to say. And when I arrived here again, in a short time, we finalized the strategy. And exactly a year ago, in August, we actually presented the strategy to the world, to investors, to our customers, to internally, to everybody. And you can have a great strategy, but the main and the most important thing is the execution of the strategy. And you only can execute this strategy successfully when you have a strong team behind it. And this was actually the biggest highlight in these 12 months, is that I found here a team that was well educated, that was hungry, that was dynamic, that was young, and they had the willingness to really support the strategy that I presented in August. And that's made us where we are today, and actually was, as I said, ahead of the plan, and thanks to a great team. And you are from Switzerland, I'm from Switzerland. It's not so different when you look around. So I like this area here. I like the campus. It's huge, and you really can do a lot of things. And I think that is, even if it is off and a bit countryside, but you can focus, you can concentrate. And again, with great people, you have a great place. It's a lot of fun. So you say it nice, an oasis here. It's true. Coming back to sustainability, yes, of course, plays a more and more an important role for end consumers, because, as you know, the new generation is much more interested into what's happening, where the garments are coming from, how they are made of. And we also have supported that in the Claim 5 strategy. We have a clear plan of sustainability. I just want to mention that also on the Dow Jones, Sustainable Dow Jones Index, we are the 5th time #2 company. I believe there is more to do. There is more behind it, and the fashion industry is the industry where we create, unfortunately, too much waste, and the most waste. So our industry needs to improve. And there we also have an answer. One is, we need to plan much better. We have too much waste because we just produce. And we have actually our answers. We created a digital campus where we analyze much more data. And with more data, and if you analyze, that's one thing, to gather data, to analyze data, but to implement data, you get a much better business. You can plan much more. And we already started to implement that, and with that we create a lot less waste. So our business is also getting much more efficient. If we continue like that, polyester is the biggest problem. Polyester is plastic, and if we continue with polyester in our garments, there is too much plastic going into the water. And if we continue like this in 2050, there's going to be more plastic in the water than fish. And that's where we have to stand up, and that's where we have to do something. And we are actually in creating and investing with a Swiss company called HiQ. We are trying to find an alternative to polyester. And if we get that done, if we can create that better planning, an alternative to polyester, I think that is really a sustainable goal. That's where we not just tick the box that we have to do anyway, but then we do something in addition to what the real problem is in this world. And we are quite far. We are testing. I was actually yesterday at the plant, and it looks good that next year we already can experiment the first capsule collection with cellulose, based. yarns that is 100% recyclable, and it doesn't lose the quality. It actually, even when you recycle and reuse it, it keeps the quality of it. So you can recycle as many times you want. And I think that's what we really go behind it. That's what we stand, the whole company behind it. And that's our real sustainable plan. China is, of course, a strategic part of that Claim 5 business. And we are well positioned in China. The end consumer is accepting the brand very well. And you know, I like the dynamic and the young consumer in China. They are really fashion forward. They always, the way they dress is really advanced. And so therefore we believe that we have a perfect solution for the China market. That starts with, you know, we have, Hugo Boss is not only a brand anymore, it's a platform. And on that platform we have two brands. One is Boss and one is Hugo. One is for millennials, that's Boss, and one for his Gen Z is Hugo. So we integrate those two brands in the China markets. We have already with Boss, of course we are one of the best tailored company, but we added a lot more casual wear. So we want to become a 24/7 lifestyle brand. And so far, even in the last 12 months, when the stores were open at least, the Chinese end consumer has very well received that. On top of that, we have implemented Boss Orange, which is casual, and Boss Green, which is athleisure. And also the Chinese market, young generation is much more interested into outdoor again, athleisure, and there's a big trend, and and our brand gives all that, and therefore we had a really good year in getting this new consumer, offering them new product, more casualized product, but still going well with our tailored, because it's more occasion dressing for weddings, for events. People still want to be dressed nicely. And then on top of that, the whole women's wear part. As you know, women dress or buy even more than men, so that's a big opportunity for us to tackle that market. I want to add one more thing. We invest a lot into retail in general, 500 million globally until 2025. So we open next year around 20 new stores. In China, we have now something like 90 freestanding stores. So we are, as you already can see from the number, there's a lot of potential that we can grow in China, and we will invest, and we're gonna do. We have a fantastic team there in place with you, did a great team. So we are all ready to grow in that market. We believe there is, as I said, big potential. Yeah, so I think on the product I just mentioned, you know, this athleisure is a big trend. But I also want to add something that is very important in China, is that the brands, especially when you're a European brand, that you are going into that market with in an authentic way. And you have to understand the Chinese way of being. And you can, you know, also in terms of ambassadors, we have a lot of ambassadors, as you said, but we have ambassadors from the States, ambassadors from Europe. But we have to adapt also to the Chinese market and come also with dedicated ambassador for the China market. And therefore I have a little surprise for you, and that is actually not yet official, only as of tomorrow. So anyway, I disclose it now. We have a new ambassador for the Chinese market with this Wang Shang, and as you know, he's the Olympic swimmer. I think a fantastic example of being a boss, or be your own boss. You know, he started very young. He did hard work. He trained. He educated himself. I think he had highs and lows, and that makes him really like something special. As you said, You know, a boss today is a new definition. It's not a boss of a company. It's somebody who stands for something, somebody who can do something, somebody who is exceptional. And I think Wang is a perfect example of that, and we are very proud to have him as our new ambassador, which is going to be announced for tomorrow. Our strategy is an omni-channel strategy. So we believe it's not only retail, or it's not only online e-com, it's a combination of all. It's not only wholesale end, there's something new coming in the horizon, it's metaverse, right? So we believe in all four, because it doesn't matter where the end consumer is buying your brand, as long he buys your brand. If he buys in our retail or in wholesale or in e-com or in metaverse even on top, it doesn't matter. So therefore we have a clear omni-channel strategy and offer our product in all four channels. And that, I think, is important also for the future. And I think we have exactly the sweet spot to be in all the channels, not just retail. We really should do online as well. And we work with Tmall and JD.com, great partners for us as well. So we are omnipresent, and with our omni-channel strategy, that's what we believe is the right thing going forward. Again, you cannot only think in one country or in one area. You have to touch all the needs of the different areas. And Chinese plays a big role. They are, as I said, fashion forward. They have their beautiful own styling, which is different than the one we have in Europe or the one in the States, which is fine. I think it's exciting, and that's how we want to be able to adapt, really dedicated to the Chinese needs, which is important. Even though you're a European brand, you cannot say what works in Europe has to also work in China. No, not at all. We adapt. We have the whole team is feeding us with information. What is the trend? What is needed? And sometimes it's actually, you see it more, even a trend that is created in China comes over into Europe and even in the States, and vice versa. Always be open-minded to new trends that coming from everywhere. And I think at the moment the Chinese have a home run on setting trends, which is very exciting for us as a brand.